You think you know the Mothman? Think again. This 7-foot-tall thing with glowing red eyes was seen all over Point Pleasant, but the creepiest part isn't what it did, it's what it was trying to say. We'll dive into the terrifying nightmares of the town's journalists and how the creature perfectly predicted a devastating tragedy. The Mothman, the quiet little town's big problem. Okay, so this whole crazy thing kicked off back in 1966, right? We are talking about Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a super quiet little river town. You know, the kind of place where nothing ever happens. But underneath all that calm, there was this dark spot, the TNT Area. It was this massive, creepy abandoned factory site, just sitting there, totally silent and soaking up the sunlight. The old bunkers looked like huge, empty eyes, and the water was heavy and still. It was from this desolate, weird territory that the shadows started to crawl out. The earliest warning was minor. Some gravediggers saw a huge, winged shadow way out in the woods. They thought they were seeing things, but it wasn't long before we knew better, specifically 15th November. That night, two young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Mallet, were driving near the old power plant, looking for some cheap fun in the dark. Instead, they found something else entirely. Suddenly, bam! Their headlights hit something standing on the side of the road. This thing was 7 feet tall, pitch black, and had huge wings tucked in. The sheer size was nuts, but seriously, the worst part? Its eyes. Giant, glowing red spheres set high up, shining with this cold, internal light that seemed to look right through the car. They hit the gas, flying down the road. But get this, the thing was faster. It just glided, didn't even flap its huge wings, and kept right up with the car going over 100 miles an hour. It was terrifying. The creature filled the rearview mirror, and you could practically feel the dread radiating off it. Plus, it made this horrible, high-pitched, metallic clicking shriek. It sounded like a piece of metal was trying to scream at them, burrowing into their bones. They were total wrecks, crying and soaking wet when they finally got to the police. And guess what? Within the hour, 2 more guys saw the exact same wing thing. The panic was real. The news quickly nicknamed it the Mothman, and pretty soon, dozens of people, cops, local families, everyone were reporting the same black, red-eye thing. The TNT area became its home base, its favorite spot. The town wasn't pleasant anymore. It was holding its breath, waiting. The worst sightings were the ones where people couldn't move. Like this guy, Dale Searles. He sees the Mothman perched on a fence, and then, poof, his car dies right there. Engine silent. He's just stuck, staring at those red eyes. For what felt like forever, he and the creature just stared at each other. He didn't just feel scared, either. He felt this incredible, cosmic dread, like the whole world was ending and he was getting a sneak peek. The air got freezing cold and thick. It was a silent message of doom delivered by those awful red orbs. Then it just shot up and vanished, and his car started right up. Wild. The sightings weren't random. They were totally focused. People felt constantly watched, and those awful, inexplicable clicking sounds were starting to invade their houses at night. This thing was getting into their heads. Man, the local police couldn't do squat, and the constant fear started tearing the town apart, turning friendly neighbors into nervous, jumpy witnesses. Things got way weirder when it started messing with Mary Heyer, the local newspaper lady who reported every sighting. She got these bizarre phone calls, just static and that same metallic clicking noise the creature made, like some sort of broken, rhythmic pulse. She couldn't sleep. She just kept having these horrible, vivid nightmares. She saw guys drowning, Christmas presents floating away, and this huge bridge totally collapsing. She realized this thing wasn't just lurking. It was a desperate, unwilling messenger trying to deliver a specific, terrible warning. She was the unwilling messenger for the town's impending doom. The Mothman's focus became crystal clear. Over and over, witnesses saw it near the Silver Bridge, the main road connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio. It was seen perching high on the steel, those eyes staring silently at the traffic below. Was it just a good spot, or was the bridge the exact target of the prophecy? The air around that bridge always felt tense, like a stretched wire ready to snap. The answer came with a heart-breaking finality. 15 December 1967. Exactly 1 year after the Mothman showed up, its cycle of dread ended. It was 5 p.m., rush hour, right before Christmas. The Silver Bridge was totally packed. And get this, with absolutely no warning, a suspension chain snapped and the whole thing just failed. The collapse happened in under a minute. It was a complete, horrifying catastrophe. 1,750 feet of metal, concrete, and dozens of cars plummeted into the icy, black Ohio River. 46 people died. The destruction was instant and brutal. It was the tragedy the town had been dreading, the awful, silent prophecy fulfilled. And what happened next? The Mothman sightings just stopped. Gone. The red-eyed shadow that had terrorized the community for a year vanished, its horrifying purpose complete. Point Pleasant was left with a silence heavier than any nose, the chilling confirmation of a prophecy, and the awful knowledge that sometimes the true horror in the dark is the one that watches you, helpless, as the worst thing imaginable is about to happen.